Scripps News Group.
Welcome to Scripps News Weekend. I'm Del Walters in Washington. Let's take a look at what's making headlines today. Rescue groups in this country now mobilizing to help in Venezuela. That includes Gray Bull Rescue, which is based in Tampa. The nonprofit sends trained, mostly ex-military volunteers into countries worldwide. They specialize in disasters and conflict to evacuate Americans and carry out other missions, recently evacuating Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Machado from Venezuela. They still do have people in that country. They say this operation, though, presents new challenges.
Quick is different because we're approaching the situation already where the people in need who need to be rescued are not going to be in a good place, meaning this is rescue, not evacuation. People that are in a collapsed building, which you see an earthquake, from an earthquake threat perspective, they are very much on a clock.
He also points out the damage is likely to be much more widespread than we can see now because of building codes in Venezuela that aren't what they are in America. President Trump once again talking tariffs, this time 100% tariff on any country that imposes a tax on America's digital services. He says the 100% tariff would override prior negotiated trade deals. The European Union Commission saying such tariffs would be unjustified and vows to respond if those tariffs are put into place. It comes ahead of the July 4th deadline for the EU and the U.S. to implement the 15% tariff cap on most exports coming from the European Union. Trump administration is working on relaunching the LGBTQ plus option on the 988 crisis intervention hotline. You used to be able to just press 3, then you'd be connected to mental health experts. Trump administration did away with the option last summer, citing funding. Now it says it plans to relaunch the line, but won't include the Trevor Project. That is the leading nonprofit for suicide prevention in LGBTQ plus youth.
I'm here at Pet Circle Animal Shelter, and with New World screwworm continuing to raise concerns across Central Texas for livestock owners, I spoke to one veterinarian here who tells me they're taking extra steps to protect our pets.
So like last night, my sister found a small little kitten on the road. He was very full of mud, full of discharge, and just not in good shape.
When Natalie Castro found a kitten in need of help, she didn't hesitate to bring it to Waco Pet Circle.
Well, especially where we live, there's a bunch of like stray cats that are sick and healthy both, and so having a cat that's sick and just not in good shape would not look good.
With New World screwworm continuing to make headlines, intaking stray animals could become a risk for some animal shelters.
Really, the only precaution that we really need to take is looking for wounds that may have these larvae in them.
At Waco Pet Circle veterinarian Dr. Vallon tells me they've already implemented more precautions.
Really doesn't change our procedures terribly much. We're doing a little more training with our staff to tell them what to look for, what to be wary of.
Pet owners can help by keeping animals on flea and tick preventatives and checking regularly for wounds or skin irritation, so the shelter can continue to safely bring these animals to their new homes.
We could plan to continue doing animal transport to our rescue partners out of the state. We see no issues with that right now, nor does Animal Health Commission or other groups.
For Natalie, it's a reassuring step toward protecting her community's cats.
Any of the other cats, because they could all get sick and possibly all die, and we love our community cats.
Now we promise to continue to follow through on updates on New World screwworm to both protect our ranches and homes.
I'm John Mattery. So many foods have a best by date or a sell by date. What's the difference, and when do you need to throw something away? We'll let you know.
So what do you have in store for me today?
The best man just got a little better.
Getting ready for my big fight.
Who you about to get in the ring with, arthritis?
Just being a Foxworthy.
Well, just knock it off. Anything impossible!
It's clear I did it again.
You keep me coming back for more.
Ion is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on Ion, the home of women's sports.
Your summer upgrade starts right here. Shop Scripps is packed with summer finds that'll have everyone asking, where'd you get that?
We are saving you almost $300 by picking this up.
The best deals live at shopscripps.com.
The all-new Scripps Sports Network, your destination for live competition. All-access moments and game-changing shows.
Let's go!
The all-new Scripps Sports Network brings you closer to the game.
Saturday nights, the NWSL is live on ION. The new Saturday Night Out returns July 4th. Find ION wherever you watch.
It's on ION.
Scripps News.
How do you keep everyone on the same page?
What could be impacted by this?
Bringing you the big stories.
How did you come into contact with Jeffrey Epstein? I was 14 years old.
The impacts.
We have to fight for the right to be able to breathe.
It's all the dust. That's why we experiencing so much respiratory issues
that matter to you.
President Trump says he wants to suspend the federal gas tax.
Is eliminating the 18-cent gas tax enough of a drop?
For live reports, breaking news, and headlines from across the country, stream Scripps News.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
The Upshot League is now on Scripps Sports Network, a new professional women's basketball league.
This is the League of Opportunity, and we are so excited.
Watch The Upshot League on Scripps Sports Network.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My ball's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifle man. Just make it good.
You're watching Scripps News, part of the Scripps News Group.
There's a big event coming up, and if you're thinking America's 250th birthday, yeah, you might be wrong. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they're getting married. We don't have details, but they reportedly have an ironclad prenup negotiated by Swift's father. It would be to protect her extensive assets, her intellectual property, and privacy. Taylor Swift's net worth is estimated at about $2 billion. You would want to protect that. Chris Melcher is joining us live from Los Angeles. He's a celebrity divorce attorney with Insight. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Holly.
All right, so when you're dealing with a relationship where both parties have enormous wealth and public profiles, is a prenup less about a love story and more about risk management?
Well, that's right. There's nothing romantic about having to see lawyers before a wedding, but it's anticipated for a couple like this to have a premarital agreement. They are both wealthy in their own right. They have assets to protect, and particularly a creative artist like Taylor Swift would want to make sure that her song catalog is protected, including songs that she writes during marriage would otherwise potentially be marital property subject to division and control by her husband, would now be completely isolated and protected for her use. And that's a common reason why a songwriter would want to have a premarital agreement.
And you know, some fans hear the word prenup and immediately think the relationship is headed for bad blood, maybe. From a lawyer's perspective, is that completely backwards?
Well, that's right, Holly. In this particular case, there's nothing wrong about having a premarital agreement. I think it's a product of realistic planning for them to do. Certainly, there are many cases where there's an imbalance in power and wealth, and that premarital agreement can do a lot of harm to the relationship. Even though the goal is to protect their wealth, they actually are doing harm to the partnership that they're about to enter into by having this overly restricted agreement. Here, neither party needs anything from the other. And so this is more of a true love story. They're marrying not because of money or the need for financial security. It's because they want to be together and they don't need anything else.
I know you don't know the specifics, but what clauses would you expect in a hypothetical prenup involving two people with such enormous earning power?
Well, certainly it's going to be the protection over intellectual property, particularly any songs that were created during marriage. That's absolutely going to be walled off. Then earnings during the marriage, and certainly is going to be their own. We might, though, see some shared property. A lot of people want to have a home in common. They want to own their home and not feel like they're basically a renter in their other spouse's home. So we may see some shared property there. The other thing is about privacy, and if there is a split, for a commitment not to do any tell-alls. So even though there's a First Amendment right in the United States to talk about things like that, they can give up that right. And there can be some consequences if they fail. So I would imagine there are going to be strong confidentiality provisions here.
You've worked with a lot of celebrities. So what's the most, without giving away names or confidentiality, what's the most Hollywood-style prenup provision you've actually encountered?
Well, we see a lot of really odd requests about maintaining size, or weight, not cheating, not using drugs or alcohol, wanting to be available for intimacy and putting consequences around that. That is just absolutely insane to me. Has no business being in a contract, is not valid, but we do see people asking for those things.
Wow. All right. And for laymen like myself, if you're going to enter into a marriage, or even if you're in a marriage and maybe you want to do a postnup, is there any advice that you can give people who may not have millions, gazillions of dollars or need to worry about social media?
Sure, Holly. I think it's a great idea for people to be informed, and now there's so much information out there, but getting a consultation or just exploring what are the rights and obligations of a marriage, because when we enter into that type of partnership, there's a lot there that people don't expect. It's very easy to get married. It's hard to get divorced. So I think just first of all, understanding what those rights and expectations are, and seeing if there's alignment there to maybe change things, or maybe they're happy with the way they are. But there can be a lot of uncertainty without knowledge.
Good advice on a topic that a lot of people in their happiest moments don't want to deal with, but how important it is. And hopefully Travis and Taylor have a long, wonderful life. But we appreciate your insight so much. Chris Melcher, celebrity divorce attorney, thanks for your time today.
Are you confused by the best by date on a lot of groceries that you buy? Well, before you throw away a pack of salami or bread or yogurt, it really pays to know the difference between best by and an expiration date.
Eat it or toss it. Some shoppers won't risk food past the date on the label.
I throw it away. That's my preference, just not to use it.
But registered dietitian Kayla Pasquale,
it says Best Buy 713,
says some foods are perfectly safe days or even weeks after their Best Buy date.
So that's more of a quality standard and not necessarily a safety recommendation. Especially for our shelf-stable foods, you are fine to consume after the Best Buy date. You don't need to throw that away.
For perishables like milk, fish, or chicken, sell by and best if used by dates matter more.
Expiration date, I wouldn't go past that on chicken.
The Cleveland Clinic says best by dates simply tell you when a product tastes its best. So if your eggs have yesterday's date, check for signs of spoilage like bad smell, mold, and unpleasant taste. Some simple guidelines: milk is safe in the fridge about 7 days. Eggs, 3 to 5 weeks. Raw ground meat and poultry, 1 to 2 days. Canned fruit, 12 to 18 months. And rice and dried pasta, 2 years. If you have beef or chicken nearing its expiration date, Pasquale says freeze it.
Your freezer is your friend, so throw it in there and you can keep it safe for a little bit longer.
For the best quality, the USDA says ground meat can last 3 to 4 months in the freezer, a roast up to a year. For non-perishables, Mary Leitzinger saves a bundle by keeping food past the recommended date.
If it's canned stuff or stuff that hasn't been opened, no, it's probably good for at least a few more months.
That way you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
The all-new Scripps Sports Network, your destination for live competition. All-access moments and game-changing shows.
Let's go!
The all-new Scripps Sports Network brings you closer to the game.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on the Scripps Sports Network. These pros are bringing the heat. Next level power. Next level passion.
Catch it all right here
on Scripps Sports Network.
Jesse Palmer.
Emmett Smith?
Both of us together? This must be some kind of TV fantasy.
Nope, it's reality. Tableau reality. Tableau lets you watch, pause, and record live TV subscription-free.
Pause you, Jesse. I'm here for 100+ channels. News, reality, movies, free live sports. Plus, it's game time.
Tableau. It's not fantasy, it's reality.
And a smart play.
Learn more at TableauTV.com.
The MVP of TV.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
So what do you have in store for me today?
The best man just got a little better.
Getting ready for my big fight.
Who are you about to get in the ring with, arthritis?
Just being a Foxworthy.
Well, just knock it off.
Anything is possible!
It's clear I did it again.
You keep me coming back for more.
Stay informed wherever you go with Scripps News on YouTube.
We're following breaking news at this hour.
Scan this QR code for a link or go to YouTube and search Scripps News. It's free to subscribe for. Alerts on new content, top news stories, investigations, full shows, and so much more.
There are stories that need to be told.
Plus, you can live stream Scripps News when you're away from your TV. Find Scripps News on YouTube today.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My boss is the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifleman. Just make it good.
Google says Americans have a lot on their minds this summer. Soccer is dominating searches, of course, because of the World Cup, with people looking up everything from how chants got started to how to go pro. Backyard barbecues, spam hot dogs are having a moment. Spooky movies are also surprisingly popular, with searches for so-called summer-ween films on the rise. And when it comes to drink, there was a 2,000% spike in searches for the Hugo Spritz. Joining me now to talk about these sometimes unexpected Google trends is our Google tech expert, Jennifer Jones. Thank you for joining us this morning. So it's the summer of soccer. Soccer, of course, with the FIFA World Cup happening right now. What are people looking for the most on Google? Is it rules? Is it schedules? Is it something else about the teams?
They are asking plenty of soccer questions, and it's a little bit of all of those, actually. Right now, you had mentioned that how to become a professional soccer player is at an all-time high. People really wanting to know how they can get involved, and then I guess turn it into a job. And then we also have vintage soccer jerseys being searched more than ever, and people on the flip side of that saying what to wear with a soccer jersey. So I guess folks are really wanting to know what it is they need to put on to look official at those watch parties.
Well, what else besides soccer is topping our search trends this summer?
So much that we have packed into our Summer Guide 2026. We always have summer fashion. There is a huge spike in capri pants every May and June, but this year they're at an all-time high. So folks are really interested in those capri pants. We also have a funny little debate going on between, states on, are they looking more for capri pants or are they looking more for jorts? I think you have the map there. Yeah, this is the capri pants jorts map. It's a little split. I'm a little surprised by some of these, but some of them are pretty funny. There's some throwbacks too. The baby doll dress is trending. Bermuda shorts are making a comeback. And with Google, you can use their shopping virtual try-on tool to actually try these on a photo of yourself before you go out and purchase them to make sure you're not making any fashion regret decisions.
I will say, fashion regret or not, I am a big fan of the cropped pants, whether it be a Bermuda short, a capri pant, because as a short girl, if it's a short pant, it's unlikely that I need to get it hemmed so that it's not ridiculously too long. I also mentioned there's a huge spike in the Hugo Spritz. Do we know at all where that interest is coming from?
I'm guessing, just wanting something light and easy to drink on these blistering hot days, but you are correct. There is sort of a resurgence in Hugo Spritz. I had to look them up myself on Google. I didn't totally know how to make them. So for those who also don't know, Hugo Spritz, like an Aperol Spritz, is a Prosecco-based cocktail. They're both Italian in origin, but as opposed to making Aperol with the Aperol Spritz, you use an elderflower liqueur for a Hugo Spritz. So something like Saint Germain, then you top it all off with club soda and a slice of fruit.
I will say I'm even married to a bartender, and I did not know what a Hugo Spritz was. So that was one that even I had to Google myself this morning to figure out what it was. What really drives these Google search trends? Are we talking about, real life politics? Is it sports? Is it a viral media trend? What prompts all these people to look up things that might seem unexpected?
You're exactly right. It is definitely what folks are looking into, but I think of it as sort of a look back at the collective consciousness over the past few months. Right now we're focusing on summer, but often, you can set any time frame that you would like, any area that you would like inside of the Google search trends parameters, and find out what's happening in your area or in another spot that you might be interested in, and see what people are really just looking into.
Are there any summer trends that we are seeing right now that surprised you? Anything that you think is really unexpected?
You mentioned the horror movies. I've never thought of horror movies as a summertime activity, but evidently the box office is booming with Obsession and Backrooms, which are two films that were made by a former YouTuber, Curry Baker, and they have just blown box office expectations out of the water. Also, very interestingly, people are going back to the book to media trend. So East of Eden right now is a book that you've all heard of, but searches for it are at an all-time high because there's a forthcoming Netflix TV series that people are interested in, and I guess they're wanting to get into that classic debate of, is the book better than the movie?
Okay, what about this Spam hot dog? Not something that I've personally heard of. I'm a little confused, but maybe curious enough to try it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that one on the grill. I'm not even a regular hot dog person, much less a Spam hot dog person. But yes, it is currently being searched more than ever. I mean, I don't even know why. But surprisingly, Black Sesame also made it into the top of our highest search interest of the year. People are doing Black Sesame everything right now. Black Sesame ice cream, Black Sesame cookies, putting Black Sesame anywhere that you can. And it's also a huge hit. I think I prefer that over the hot dog.
I'm with you. I'd definitely take a Black Sesame flavored anything over maybe the Spam hot dog. Maybe I'll be brave and try it later.
Think booking a hotel months in advance will help you save? Not necessarily. A new report finds many travelers are now finding great last-minute hotel deals and saving a lot of money. Downtown hotel, busy summer weekend.
I'm assuming we don't need the car anytime soon.
The prices can be sky high. Hannah Digger, in town for a Savannah Bananas game, hoped for a better deal.
It was a little higher than normal.
Even though she booked well in advance.
A few months, couple months.
But a new report shows waiting can pay off for late bookers like Ken Whitaker.
It was like a week ago. It was only a week ago.
The Hotel Price Index from Hotels.com says the sweet spot is 8 to 14 days before your stay, saving about 23% compared to booking 4 months out.
Now, there's some risk involved in that, so I always make sure that I have a refundable hotel booked, and then if I can beat it, great.
Melanie Fish with Hotels.com says travelers are using filters to get more for their money.
The filter that is really attracting people's attention is that budget filter. The use of it has gone up 1,800% this summer.
Also, filters tied to free parking, meal plans, or free breakfast.
They understand that the real cost is in the overall package of the stay, not just in the upfront price.
More ways to save. Start your stay on a Sunday, not Friday, the most expensive check-in day. Join hotel rewards programs and pick destinations with dropping rates like North Myrtle Beach, Las Vegas, Bozeman, Park City, and Siesta Key. Preet Kaur found even discount rates can add up.
It was about, I think, $250 for us because conference rate.
So hit that sweet spot and skip Friday check-ins so you don't waste your money. John Mattery, Scripps News Group.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
Meet Tablo, a simple way to watch broadcast TV plus free streaming channels, subscription free.
I almost didn't believe when I saw it as just a one-time fee for the device. So in this age of subscriptions for everything, that was something that really appealed to us.
Well, I use Tablo in my home since I wake up, actually. So it's kind of like everywhere. I'm always connected to Tablo.
Order Tablo for a one-time payment of $99.95. No monthly fees and no contracts. Tablo, pay once and watch forever.
Now on your favorite channel.
Katie, what do you have for us today?
Shop Scripps, the hottest destination for today's latest deals.
31% off, 50% off, 87% off.
The best deals live at shopscripps.com.
Weekdays on Scripps News. Start your day at 7 with Morning Rush. At noon, watch live coverage with Scripps News on the scene. And at 5, get the latest headlines on happening now in America, only on Scripps News.
We're serving up a showdown. From the court to the pitch. A touch. A cross.
Deflecting in!
Every volley is a chance at victory. Strike it. Spike it. Block it. Bury it. Don't miss any of the action.
You gotta love that.
Catch all the excitement from the NWSL and MLV on Scripps Sports Network.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My boy's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifleman. Just make it good.
Ion is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on Ion, the home of women's sports.
We've been reporting on the human toll of the deadly earthquakes off Venezuela, but let's focus a little bit in on the science behind what happened. The first earthquake was a 7.2 magnitude and struck just west of the country. The second earthquake struck in the same area just a minute later and was a bit stronger at a 7.5 magnitude, both very strong. But let's bring in Dr. Ellen Prager. She's chief scientist at Storm Center Communications. Thank you for your time this morning.
Well, I wish I could say I'm happy to be here. I was under better circumstances.
Absolutely. And we wanted to speak with you because I know you have authored 2 books on earthquakes. So how common is it for earthquakes this strong to hit this area in particular, and to have 2 earthquakes like that at that magnitude back to back?
So this is an area that, in fact, seismologist Robert Yates called an earthquake time bomb. We've known for many years that it's at high risk because of the tectonic setting of large earthquakes. In fact, in 1812, there was a 7.7 magnitude earthquake that killed 500 people, but of course, now millions more people live, which make it a really dangerous place. So it's not uncommon to have large earthquakes in this area. It is rather uncommon to have what we call a doublet, or the 7.2 being a foreshock of the 7.5. But again, this area is was already at high risk of dangerous earthquakes like this.
And these earthquakes hit so close to the coastline. Why were there no concerns about tsunamis?
Great question. It was a strike slip fault, which means you basically have the tectonic plates sliding past one another. There isn't typically vertical motion, which is what you need underwater to create a tsunami, but the risk remains in that there could have been a submarine landslide, which would displace water, which could create a tsunami. But in a typical strike slip fault kind of motion, you don't tend to trigger the tsunamis because, again, you need that vertical motion or displacement underwater.
And from what I understand, the fault line is rather long. Is that why there was such a wide area that was affected?
So the issue is not exactly how long the fault is, it's how far it ruptures. And that is one of the things that determines not only how big it is, but also the extent of the area that is impacted. So the longer the rupture on the fault, the larger the damage area.
So why was this destruction so devastating? We know this area, as you said, was a ticking time bomb. So were things built to withstand disasters like this? Was this something that was ignored? Or is this something that was just so devastating no matter what you build or what's around there, it's going to collapse?
Good. That's another good question. There are several factors at play. One is the tectonic risk, of course. There's the density of populations, and then it's how the infrastructure has been built. And certainly in the past, Caracas in Venezuela has not well prepared for earthquakes. And if you look at the building codes and if you look at how these buildings are built, that is one of the main reasons why we're seeing such a catastrophe. So it's the tectonic risk, it's the density of populations, and it's how the infrastructure is built.
So what about then the threats of any aftershocks? And if there are, how long would it be? Just today? Is it going to be over the next weeks, months? How long does that take?
Well, this is, obviously it's very scary for people who are living there and have just already dealt with this and there's already damage. There will be aftershocks. The probability is that the largest aftershocks will happen sooner than later, but they can go on for months. And you can even get a larger aftershock, not larger than the main shock, but you can still get a large aftershock months later. So aftershocks are going to be a problem for the people living there now, and certainly for rescues, and you could see more impacts.
Is this something that is tied into, earlier we saw California yesterday also had an earthquake, Japan had an earthquake. It seems very coincidental that 3 places on the same day would have pretty significant earthquakes. The one in California was the largest one they've had in what, like 80 years. So are they tied in at all, or was this just, crazy coincidence?
It's very hard to say right now. Scientists are certainly investigating that to see if there's anything. There was a question about could the shaking from the seismic waves put out from Venezuela quakes trigger the one that was in Japan, I believe, but it's not clear yet. So I would say scientists are looking into that, but we can't say for sure that there was any relationship between all of them yet.
Are there any prediction tools that are used to say, all right, look, this area needs to be on alert. We're seeing some kind of, activity under, so far deep into the Earth's layer that something like this can happen. How do you measure this? Is there any way to prepare, or is this something where when it happens, it happens?
So this is a really good question for everybody, for all the scientists. So we've been looking for a long time for a way to predict or forecast quakes, and there is no good way. However, there are new instruments out there that are starting to be able to monitor land deformation. There's something called NISAR at NASA satellite, where they can look at how the land deformation changes. And there's a possibility, nothing is sure yet, but could we see the start of a rupture by looking at the land deformation? It's not clear, but there's a chance that in the future we might be able to do something. It's not going to give us a very long time or advanced warning, but even if we got seconds or minutes, it would help people prepare. And so right now, the best we can do is when the shaking starts, the first indication, you can get an early warning alert out for the shaking, but there is no good way to predict earthquakes right now.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time this morning and your expertise. Dr. Ellen Prager, Chief Scientist of the Storm Center's Communications and the author of 2 books on earthquakes. We appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Trump signed an executive order Thursday directing a study of health risks from pesticides and calling for reducing them in the food supply. But the new order does not create new laws or regulations or federal funding to make it happen. Critics say it falls short of meaningfully addressing pesticide use. The order follows a February commitment of $1 billion for pesticide-free farming. The Commerce Department has banned Swedish electric vehicle maker Polestar from selling new cars in the United States, starting with the 2027 model year. The company says it was denied authorization under a rule that blocks vehicles with technology linked to China over national security concerns. A Chinese automaker is the majority owner of Polestar. The company says it will continue selling its existing inventory in the U.S. And gamers looking to buy an Xbox should act fast. Microsoft is raising the price of its video game console by $100 in August, and the 1 terabyte model is going up by $150. The 2 terabyte version, it's being discontinued entirely. The company is blaming rising storage and memory costs, the same reason it gave when it raised prices back in October.
Well, the American red snapper season has been increased by 2 weeks, making it the longest season in history. Coming up, we'll hear from fellow fishing captains about what this means not only for their businesses, but the entire Clearwater economy.
ShopScripps.com, the hottest destination for today's latest deals.
We're serving up a showdown. From the court to the pitch. A touch. A cross.
Deflecting in!
Every volley is a chance at victory. Strike it. Spike it. Block it. Bury it. Don't miss any of the action.
You gotta love that.
Catch all the excitement from the NWSL and MLB on Scripps Sports Network. The Upshot League is now on Scripps Sports Network, a new professional women's basketball league.
This is the league of opportunity, and we are so excited.
Watch the Upshot League on Scripps Sports Network.
Scripps News is celebrating life, liberty, and the pursuit of tastiness.
So delicious.
Join Jessica DeLuise for 4th of July twists on American classics. Red, White, and Delicious, $2.50, celebrating America. All next week on Morning Rush.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on the Scripps Sports Network. These pros are bringing the heat. Next level power. Next level passion.
Catch it all right here
on Scripps Sports Network.
Ion is the home of women's sports. We celebrate the trailblazers, the risk takers, the game changers, and the history makers. Every game, every moment, it's her time on Ion, the home of women's sports.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My boy's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifle man. Just make it good.
This is Robert Boyd covering Clearwater in North Pinellas County. Well, Clearwater has one of the largest fishing charter fleets in the state. So captains like Misty and Tommy say extending the American red snapper season by 2 weeks here in the Gulf isn't just a big boost for their businesses, but the entire Clearwater economy.
It's almost like waiting for Christmas is waiting for American red snapper season to open. People are counting down the days. The one that got away is always the biggest story.
Misty Wells has been fishing in Clearwater her entire life. Not only is she a charter boat captain, she has her own TV show. Let's take it outside.
I'm always in pursuit of giant bass, big old crappie, and anything that'll bite my hook.
Misty says extending the American red snapper season from 126 days to 140 days is making a huge splash across the Gulf.
We needed that. We've had so many hurdles to overcome. Clearwater was very devastated with the 2 hurricanes back to back. Rebuilding, everybody lost revenue. We didn't fish for, over 8 months at least.
All right. Fellow charter captain Tommy LaRonge with Unreal Fishing Outfitters says 2 extra weeks of fishing trips will amount to over $20,000.
I look forward to it every year because I know and I understand that people are going to come and they're going to book. And if I'm slow, I know I'm like, oh, here comes red snapper season, Daddy. I'm about ready to, to get it.
But according to the city of Clearwater, charter boat captains are just the tip of the fishing pole when it comes to the economic impact of the American red snapper.
It extends hotel stays. That means they're eating 2 or 3 meals out. So it helps our restaurants, our mom and pops. They need some AC and shade. They're going to shop in our malls, shop in our stores. So that trail effect is just greatly appreciated.
And an unexpected bonus here in the Gulf is that a federal judge completely canceled the entire American red snapper season in the Atlantic Ocean, sending tourists scattering for a plan B.
The day they did it like 12 hours or something before it was supposed to open, and as soon as that happened, our phone on our business line blew up.
Families had Airbnbs booked, hotels booked, trips planned, permits paid for, and all of a sudden got shut down the last minute. We're open for fishing over here on our side of the Gulf Coast.
This is Robert Boyd, Scripps News Group.
Summer vacation is in full swing. Do you know what your teen is doing? Have you heard the term bed rotting? Well, that's when teens spend hours in their beds scrolling social media on their phones, sleeping, watching TV, and avoiding their friends and other activities. New York Times bestselling author Dr. John L. Puma may have some solutions. His new book is Indoor Epidemic, and he joins us now. Glad to have you here with us to talk about this. And Dr. Puma, it is summer, right? Teens like to turn off from school. It's a time they don't have to get up at dawn, sit in class all day, do homework all night. So is bed rotting just a harmless way for teens to relax, or is it something parents really need to be concerned about?
$64,000 question, maybe many, many times that, Holly. So I think that bed rotting is actually not behavioral, it's biological. Most parents don't realize that. Without morning light, where kids are just in bed, and actually a quarter of Gen Z say that they stay in bed for a full day or 2 to reset, to try to escape and lower their stress. Without morning light and staying inside all the time, their body clock never resets. Their melatonin stays high, their cortisol stays flat. So a teen who can't get moving really isn't choosing it. Their biology thinks it's nighttime.
So what's happening in the brain and the body when teens then get outside early in the day, and how much morning sunlight does a teen actually need to see benefits?
We all need actually a minimum of 17 minutes a day, but in the morning, the dose is 10 minutes within an hour of waking without sunglasses and not through a window. That's just enough to trigger your body clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus it's called, in the middle of the brain. That's a collection of neurons that sets your clock for the day so that you can get sleep that night, make melatonin 14 hours later, and actually create a brain cleaning mechanism which your body runs normally during deep sleep, which you only get if you get adequate morning light.
We know that, though, the reality is many teens, they wake up immediately grab their phones. I think we're all kind of guilty of it too. So how does that habit affect their mood and energy then throughout the day?
It forces them to avoid interaction. It's, again, an addiction of sorts. And this kind of constant screen use isn't just stealing their energy. It may actually be reshaping their eyes. 1 in 3 kids by age 10 has a stretching retina because indoor work and that constant look at a device like this and dim light indoors actually helps the eye elongate unnaturally. And that means a physically longer eye with 20 times the risk of retinal detachment. Just 10 minutes of morning sun can actually slow that stretching, but we're seeing even deformations of the anatomy in kids who are so vulnerable to this because they're so young and their eyes are still developing.
Wow. Okay, but some parents, they may feel like, look, I'm constantly fighting screens, right? So what's a healthier approach than simply taking a device away, which you know is going to lead to a battle?
Right, and it doesn't really work. I mean, kids will just find a way around it. Schools are seeing this as well. A healthier way in the morning, especially for a teen who's bedrotting, who's not getting out for a day or two, is first understand that it's biological, not behavioral. It's not attitude. It's not laziness. It's that their biology is working against them and against you. So one easy way to start is to just get in there in the morning, open the curtains, and say, breakfast is outside. You want to eat? That's where it is. And so they may not want to eat for a day, okay, but everybody gets hungry. You open the curtains and you show that there's something else. You actually organize activities for them outside. You mentioned school at the top. School actually got them at least out of bed and outside and gave them that morning light that they're now deprived of. And so we need to replace that with other activities that they can engage in order to reset their biology.
We know research has shown that outdoor time can reduce anxiety. So for all of us, not just teens, why does nature have such a powerful effect on mental health?
Many, many different reasons. One is that nature is, by nature, social. When you're outside, you meet people, and that's actually good for our biology. It's good for our longevity. It avoids isolation, and isolation feeds anxiety, and isolation is what you get when your teen is in bed for a day or two. You avoid other people, you start to ruminate. It's been shown that actually walking in a meadow or a green space for an hour physically reduces in the brain the activity in the rumination center in the prefrontal cortex of the brain versus walking down a city street where you have to keep track of traffic, you have to keep track of your phone. Some people watch their phone when they're walking down the street, which is quite hazardous because we're seeing not just distracted driving problems, but pedestrians being hit by cars who are distracted by looking at their phone. So A, it improves isolation. B, it improves socialness. And C, nature is good because it gives you something more relaxed to look at and less straining for the brain. It's actually easier for the brain to process the shapes outside, the colors outside, the temperatures outside than it is for the brain to process what's on a phone or what's demanded of it in your list of notifications, in your list of direct messages of the things to do. Nature draws your attention, not demands it.
Some great advice there. We appreciate your time this morning, Dr. John Puma, author of Indoor Epidemic. Thank you for your expertise. We appreciate it, and time to get outside.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on the Scripps Sports Network. These pros are bringing the heat. Next level power. Next level passion.
Catch it all right here
on Scripps Sports Network.
Scripps News.
How do you keep everyone on the same page?
What could be impacted by this?
Bringing you the big stories.
How did you come into contact with Jeffrey Epstein?
I was 14 years old.
The impacts.
We have to fight for the right to be able to breathe.
It's all the dust. That's why we experiencing so much respiratory issues
that matter to you.
President Trump says he wants to suspend the federal gas tax.
Is eliminating the 18-cent gas tax enough of a drop?
For live reports, breaking news, and headlines from across the country, stream Scripps News.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
The Scripps Sports Network is your home for non-stop action.
You can hear the stadium roaring. We're built for these tough moments.
Every day of the week, your favorite sports are all in one place. Catch every buzzer beater, impossible stop, what a save, and world-class finish. All day long, the goals, blocks, and tackles just keep coming. The Scripps Sports Network, bringing you closer to the game.
Killer's on the loose. We gotta find him.
We've got 30 minutes before he strikes again.
They're officially on the clock now. Why start killing again now?
We just found a connection.
Go building to building, door to door.
I'll do a cursory examination. We're right on the killer's tail.
I think they just found our serial killer.
The Upshot League is now on Scripps Sports Network, a new professional women's basketball league.
This is the League of Opportunity, and we are so excited.
Watch the Upshot League on Scripps Sports Network.
I didn't hear anybody knock. Shall we proceed?
My ball's the best shot in the whole world. Isn't it exciting?
They call you the rifle man.
Just make it good.
Don't need me to remind you just how stressful the world is today. Just this morning, we've already talked about deadly earthquakes, political drama in Washington, D.C., and continued conflict around the Strait of Hormuz, and it's not even 10 a.m. So those types of headlines, combined with the daily stresses of your personal life, are probably enough to overwhelm even the strongest person. So let's try to help you deal with all of that. Joining me now are the co-authors of the Peace Guidebook, Dr. Katie Eastman and Elizabeth Hamilton Garino. Ladies, thank you very much for being up with me and online this Friday morning. So let's start with what prompted you to write this book. Let's start with you, Katie.
Well, we sat down and we were talking about what does the world need? And immediately we thought of the word peace. And so from there, we started asking children and adults, what does peace mean to you? And what evolved was this beautiful book full of practical daily tools that you can use to live peacefully.
All right, so Elizabeth, let's come to you. Let's talk through some hypotheticals here. Let's say someone's dealing with a lot of stress at work. What is your advice?
So we help people pause, breathe, and choose. When you pause, it allows that reset, our nervous system to reset, the breathing. And in those moments, when you choose, you can choose peace and align with peace. So we help people do three things: pause, breathe, and choose peace.
All right, so how do you choose peace if you're trying to deal with some financial stress at home, something that many Americans are struggling with right now as we struggle with higher prices and continued high inflation?
So, again, it's always important to remember to bring it back here. A lot of us are dealing with moral exhaustion. There's multiple layers of things going on. We always say that people are walking around with something going on in the background, whether it's caregiving, financial stress, job stress, children's stress, whatever it is. And so it's important to bring it right back here, right back to our hearts, and do the pause, breathe, choose method. And that helps reset. We try to help people control what they can control. And we're finding that this method really helps people pause for humanity and pause for peace. It's so important right now to look around at our fellow humans and really stop and pause for humanity and make sure we're all okay. We don't know what's going on in the background of each of us. And generally there's something going on. And so it's really important to just pause for humanity.
Katie, what about trying to avoid stress altogether? Of course, that's not possible necessarily all the time, but how do you suggest that somebody just prevents the burnout from even setting in?
Well, right now, everyone is on high alert because of all the rapid change. So our nervous systems are working overtime. And so the most important thing is you have to take time to calm. You have to ask yourself, are you centered? Are you collecting information through your brain in a way that you can calmly make good choices? Because a lot of us are reactive right now, and we need to respond instead of react. So take care of your nervous system, whatever it takes. Both pause, breathe, and choose, but also take time to really think before you speak. I always say to my clients, listen more than you speak.
It also makes me think of the phrase, and I'm not going to quote it correctly, but, about having the strength to, understand what you can control, what you can, and kind of the knowledge to know the difference. Of course, I'm butchering that. I'm butchering that phrase at the moment right now, but hopefully everyone can kind of take a moment, take that time to think, to listen, and hopefully add a little more peace to their lives. The co-authors of the Peace Guidebook, Dr. Katie Eastman and Elizabeth Hamilton Garino. Thank you, ladies.
To the